Good morning and welcome to Morning Moments. We have another special guest, and this week we are having a lot of special guests in the film industry for a special release that's happening this weekend, movie called Church People. My guest today was not in that movie, but he's a good friend with the director who I'm going to have on later this week, Jerry Della Salla. Tell me a little bit about yourself and where your background.
Yeah, I am a born and bred New Jerseyan who migrated to New York City when he was a youngin. At the age of 21, I started to study drama and performance studies at NYU. I graduated in 92, and I really became, from that point on, a professional actor, thespian, as they say, romantically poor artist throughout the 90s. I did a lot of off-Broadway regional theater. I came up and started to cut my teeth in independent film, soap operas, commercials. And then 9/11 occurred, and I was in New York City, was in my backyard, and I wound up leaving the industry to join the service. And pretty much from the point that I put my name to signature on the contract, I found myself a couple of years later actually deployed. And I took a hiatus from the arts and then wound up serving my country. Came back 2006 and loosely started to get back into the field again, the film industry. And if not for the Lord, I really wouldn't know what direction or path I needed to be on, Andy, to glorify God, with the gifts He's given me. And he said, "Look, you just did a deployment. I think the film industry needs military specialists. Why don't you start to angle your career a little bit in that direction? Because it'll also be a vessel for you to serve, to give back to the veteran community, and hopefully give me the glory." And that's really been the focus since 2008. Up to this point, it brought me west. I found my family out here. I had my daughter out here, and I am trying to serve in the kingdom and in the church community in the Seal Beach area. So God really is, He really is more than ever, certainly with me, showing His signature on my life. And at the same time convicting me how really He's in control. Because as I look back on all the crazy things I've done, not just as an actor and an artist, but definitely, yes, as a soldier, without me knowing it, there was a heavy hand upon my life, in guiding me to the achievements I have today, and I got to give them all credit. So yeah. So
when you step back and look, and I've said this to several people,
yeah,
when you step back to look at what had to take place to get us where we are today, we would never be able to do that on our own. There's just no way. I always tell people, I'm not smart enough to figure that out. And right. But God puts the right person in the right place at the right time for you.
That's right.
And later you realize it was just a divine appointment.
Yeah. And I mean, the way I met Chris Shaw, ironically, since, we're talking about his movie Church People to come out soon. The funny thing about Chris Shaw was I met him in a Starbucks, and and he was shooting this is my daughter.
Hello.
I was at the aquarium.
Yeah, we went to the aquarium today. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. She likes to jump in there. She's got a little bit of the ham in her, like
Yeah.
her father. No, but I met Chris at a Starbucks, and I was just sitting having a coffee, and he was with Stephen Baldwin, who's one of his stars for Church People, and they were heading out on a location, and I just happened to see his hat, which said 168, which I know is the big Christian film fest in Los Angeles. And I said, hey, I didn't know you were part of that fest. I'm looking to hopefully get in there. And he's like, oh, here's my card. And then he whisked away outside the Starbucks, and we hooked up a little later. He was in the throngs of shooting his movie. Long story short, we made a contact, we made a connection, and then we're doing a project. So it's just like you're saying, it's all divine intervention. Somebody has invaded the video. I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's fine.
You want to go sit and play? Why don't you go sit and play? Okay, good. Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. That's it.
So
Yeah.
One of my favorite sayings, and people hear me say this all the time on my morning moments, is God knows our heart. It's up to us to hear his voice. And
yes,
long as we keep our heart where it should be, he speaks to us. Now, the trouble is we're not listening.
Yeah.
And I wonder how many opportunities as well do we miss by not listening to what God has for us.
I probably missed. I can't imagine how many. But you're absolutely right, Andy. I think he's ever faithful. And he's going to get his way. Yeah. So I try not to fight it as much anymore.
We're getting ready to wrap this up, and I just thought of this when I saw your beautiful daughter there. My daughter and my son, they were around our lives all the time in ministry when we were young. Children's ministry. We did a lot of children's ministry, and the same age as your daughter. I remember our kids hanging out with us in church.
Yeah.
Now both of them have families of their own. They have 4 kids, 4 girls and a boy themselves. They have 8 grandkids total. And all those kids are just excited about Jesus too.
They are.
And it's great to see generationally what will take place when we allow our kids to hear the good news that you're doing and the good things that you're doing. Your daddy's a great man of God. You know that?
Yeah. Oh, say hi, Andy.
I was touching the stingray.
All right.
Her favorite thing is to read Bible book with Daddy. So that's her favorite thing.
Yes. Absolutely. Well,
I got an octopus.
Octopus. Okay.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for taking time and especially some family time to share with us today. And I want to encourage people to keep an eye on Jerry's his movies that he has out. I'm going to list some of them down below as we see. And keep in touch and let us know and what you're doing. And so we'll more important than anything else, I want everybody that's listening to keep Jerry in prayer. That God will just help him in the industry he's at, and that he will continue to be used by God. Thank you so much.
I've got a project right now. Hopefully that could be kept in prayer. So it's yes, please. Yes.
We will do that. We'll pray for those projects in the future. All right. And
thank you.
May God richly bless you, and thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, sweetie.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for joining us for Morning Moments.